found us. What about this idea?
Gotta listen to this show. Why?
Because it's about the hearts and minds of entrepreneurs.
Oh, nailed it.
I didn't even look at the wall.
Nailed it.
I didn't even look at
All
the
right,
wall.
listen, honestly, this is a show. It's different than other shows about entrepreneurship.
It's real. It's real. Real stories.
Is it?
We tend to talk very real.
I love
And
it.
so do our guests. So come have fun with us. Wow. All you had to do is push two buttons.
And I'm going to take
You are
credit for all of
such a genius.
It's two buttons.
Just
Look at
push-
all of this
you
stuff
pushed
I had
them
to set
both.
up in order to do it.
You didn't double push them. You didn't
I didn't double
hold your
push.
finger on them too long and shut everything down.
Nope.
You
It's-
did it all just the way it should be.
It's exactly
Like a
what it should
techno genius.
be. Whew, man. You know what we're going to do?
No.
We're going to introduce the show.
I'm excited about that.
ready?
Yes.
Okay, we're
it's
gonna
show day.
It's show day. We're going to take just a short break. That's good enough. And then we're going to introduce the show. Ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone. Welcome.
And welcome to what?
Welcome to What About This Idea?
Good job.
About the hearts and minds of entrepreneurs.
Oh, it's inside the hearts and minds.
See, I'm not going to get it right.
Inside
But
the
I am
hearts
saying
and
entrepreneurs, I think, in the way that I want to now.
Was it you that came up with inside the hearts and minds?
I
of
think
entrepreneurs?
maybe. I don't know.
Or was it AI? You didn't.
It wasn't AI. AI had a whole different idea on who we were. So we actually had to be original, didn't we?
Right. Oh, we'll have to resurrect the AI song. That was painfully.
We are working. By the time this is airing, we will have a jingle and it'll be amazing. And you'll be like, oh my gosh, it's What About This Idea? I can tell from the jingle.
I can just tell. That's what it is.
But in the process of getting to that jingle, we thought, hey, it's a new day. It's a new world. Let's do AI jingle.
Right.
And so I can hardly wait to play it for everybody.
I just put our graphic up on the screen.
Did you?
I should have done that right at the beginning.
Look at you.
I'm learning.
We're getting
I'm
there.
learning. We have a guest today,
I'm excited.
and he's just waiting to be. He's chomping at the bit. I mean, the kid wants to talk.
I know he's
he wants
dying.
to have stories
He's like,
to tell.
If I just don't have to say anything, I'll be fine with that.
No, he'll do. He's got it great. I'm going to put up the little graphic. It's not great, but here it is. Look at. We have our guest. You can't see this, but
No,
you'll
I
see it
can't see
later.
anything.
It says Henry Kryzer right on our screen right now.
Does it?
Yeah, that's magic. It's technology.
Wow.
All right, so Henry, hello and welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
And we're gonna do this. So we are both parents of people like you, meaning children,
Yeah.
but like people who've grown up past the age of like 6 when you're cute, to the point where you've grown up to the level where we want to actually talk to you. We want to know what's going on inside your head, and that's what you're here for. So welcome in today. We're gonna get answers out of you no matter what it takes. Do you understand that?
Yep.
Okay, good. So let's start with basics. How old are you? If you don't mind
17.
me asking. Okay, 17. I can't start that. I can't start most shows off that way.
In fact, I suggest you don't start any other shows off that way.
You get it because we have to know this.
Yeah.
So I'm not offering you a beer at the break. Right? We're not in that country. We're in this country. You don't get one.
Yeah.
I know it
Sorry.
would help you. No, I'm not going to say that it would help you. You might loosen up a little bit, but you might loosen up way too much. And it's illegal.
It is
So
illegal.
don't even look at me like that.
If we do a show in London next year, we'll bring you along. You'll be
Germany.
18 by that time.
I'm 18 in 2 weeks. We should have rescheduled.
Oh, man.
Well,
no, we'd
you
have to.
still-
I'm kidding. Oh, wait.
I know that was a good joke.
That
though.
was good. He's
that was good. Yeah.
Better than us, I think.
Yeah. I mean, but he would have shown up with his little vapey pen or something. That's what you can do in 2 weeks.
Oh, you
don't
can?
do that either.
No, you can't do that. Can
At
you?
18, I'm pretty sure, right?
Really? I don't think
Yeah.
so.
Yeah. Or he'd have
I
been-
don't know.
Or he'd have been like, if you don't want to do any of that crap anyway. But he could have said, I'll tell you what, let's record this show at the casino because I'm 18.
No, can you?
Yeah.
go-
We'll do that.
Yeah. See?
Okay, all right.
Things that you get some privileges at 18. So you're 17 for the next couple of weeks. I'm
Yeah.
glad you didn't say 17 and 37/54ths or whatever it would be. I can't do math that fast, but yeah.
But you get to vote this year in the presidential election, but you can't drink.
No.
Right.
And shouldn't
drink, but you should vote.
It's best to wait.
You know what I'm most excited about talking to you today is that you're the future, right?
Yeah.
And
hopefully.
we're counting on you.
Yeah.
Does
Just
that feel-
me?
Yeah, really, that's all we got, I think.
Good
The
old
rest-
Minnesotan kid. He's like,
Just me? All right.
I'm the future? Like, oh. It's a lot of pressure. Can there be other people that can be part of the future too? Is there space?
I don't know.
Or do you feel
I
like
don't know.
you're going to take it all over?
Oh, we'll take it over.
You will, but you
I am.
You are.
Yep.
All right, cool.
All right.
Cool.
Well, see, then we're taken care of because we engaged him first.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Before he
remember
was
us
18.
well.
Yeah.
He's like, you better say nice things on this show. So, Henry, 17, you were invited in on this show because you're on LinkedIn. Do you know that puts you in a very small percentage of 17-year-olds? Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you feel at home on this social media platform? You realize it's a
No.
social media platform.
Yeah, kinda. It's so my the people I'm doing my internship with right now, they were telling me about it and saying it can really set up for your future. So I mean, if I start doing it a year ago, I'm setting up a timeline almost of what everyone's gonna see, future employers, everything like that.
Totally.
So that's kind of just how we got on there. But you go on there and it's okay. There's nobody my age on here. It's just
It's
all
no
people.
TikTok, is it?
no.
Do you do TikTok?
No.
No. Do you do any of the socials?
I got Instagram and Snapchat. I just stay off TikTok.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a time
Yeah, I
time
don't-
suck. It'll crush your soul
Yeah.
anyway, so don't do it.
Yeah, I know. I don't want it stealing my ideas either.
Oh, did you hear that? And there was some confidence in what
There's
he just
very
said.
good. Yeah. I have a good patent lawyer. We might need to work on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and you go to school?
Yeah.
It was a surprise to me after reaching out to you. It was a surprise to me when I asked for your email address, and it's like a public school email address,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
That's my go-to.
I like it.
Yeah, I'm at school the most, so I'm checking my school email the most, so it's easiest usually to get to, but
Yep. Have you got others?
I got like 10.
Do you?
I got like 3 I usually use at school. I got a Gmail, and then I got my iCloud through my iPhone, but
How many emails would you say you have at this point, Juliet?
Not that many. You said you have 10. I
Okay,
probably
5
have
or-
5.
He may have exaggerated. I think he's gonna.
no, I meant like 5 or 6 of them, if I'm going to be honest, are for free trials on stuff. Just you can keep spamming that, but
The kid's working. I like it. I've got a fake one too that's not my real name that I like if I don't want to get overly spammed by something, but I want to try something out.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what you're talking about. Yeah. That's smart. So you're 17, you're at school.
How are you going to know when you have the sales are on, though?
Well, I can always check that email if I
Yeah, but you're not going to.
No, I don't.
How are you supposed to get sucked into buying stuff?
Well, I think that's the whole point.
Oh, okay.
I'm avoiding that.
I should be avoiding that.
Yeah. Well, you got your new light, which illuminates your face.
I just want everyone to notice the difference today from some of our other podcasts.
Yeah, they're not
I have a
gonna see
light.
those anyway. They've been terrible. This is the first one that's good enough. It's
Oh,
ready
so they
for
won't
prime
even
time.
know that
No.
this is an improvement.
No, we had
That's
to
too bad because
But there'll be audio. Anyway, 17, going to high school. You're on LinkedIn. There are very, very few, precious few kids on there. I know that. It's not common at all.
Slim.
Yeah. So, and it's kind of like old people land because it's all like it. You know, if you look at it and the way it works, it's basically Facebook,
Yeah.
right? You understand?
Professional.
Yeah, but just a professional network, like boring, self-promoting.
Useful.
Hey, everybody, look at me. It's useful for things like this. To find people like yourself. Only there's only one of you on there that I know of. But anyway,
he's the only one in the whole wide world.
only 17-year-old. No, but you were on there because you've got a team of people who are helping you with some sort of entrepreneurial endeavor.
Yeah.
Can you do us a favor, since we have asked professors, we've not asked the internet because we
We will not look it up.
we will
will not look it up.
What would you say is your understanding of the word entrepreneur?
It's your own person. You're not, getting sucked into some company.
Yeah.
You're kind of just moving along and finding what's ever next. It's not you don't have a plan. You just wake up every day and you're finding whatever's the goal.
Yep.
And then you're just doing as much as you can to accomplish it or not. And then you move on to something else, whatever comes up.
I mean, I like it.
I like that one.
I know.
It sounds a little ADHD, but I still like it.
Yeah. Well, what it is, I think, is it's more of like just the straightforward, honest. Instead of trying to make it sound like a dictionary.
Exactly.
definition,
It's exactly what an entrepreneur gets up and does every day.
That's right.
It's the day of an entrepreneur.
Yep.
Like
You just described
that worked, that
exactly what
didn't.
it's like to be an entrepreneur.
Yep.
So, yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to mess with you by asking you that. That's just something I just wanted to hear what your thoughts were on it. But yeah, because our show, it's a lot of it is about entrepreneurship, but we recognize that people can have different ways of being entrepreneurial other than just starting businesses. But you went the whole starting business things route, or ideas, right? Taking ideas from
Business. Almost both.
Okay.
Little both, yeah, but
Yeah. Well, let's go.
Let's do it.
Let's hear it.
Let's reveal the big reveal.
Yeah. So what is it? What is it that you're doing out there in the world?
all right. WorkSeek. It's my latest
WorkSeek.
WorkSeek.
How do you spell it?
WorkSeek.
One word or two?
It's both.
And
Easy
and
to search.
did
No,
you?
I'm kidding. It's one.
What was that?
I'm just kidding. It's one.
It's one?
Yeah.
And did you capitalize
S?
S in Seek?
No.
Oh,
Okay.
Sorry. I could have been an investor.
Well,
otherwise.
okay. So my Facebook says, my Facebook page says Workspace Seek.
Yeah.
Capital S.
Yeah.
The Instagram's WorkSeek app. Shout out. But it's, the actual app is two words, WorkSeek.
WorkSeek.
It's the way it's kind of spelled on there.
Yeah.
In the little bubble, but yeah. It's all over the place.
And what does it do?
I'm not 18, so I don't have to apply as an LLC yet. So I'm not.
What does that mean?
What if you made $100,000 off of your software? Would you have to apply
Well,
for an LLC?
Well, it's different. So my idea of it is that I was going to wait till I'm 18 and then apply.
Okay.
I'll get into what it is, but like we got barely any snow right now. So I'm not in the current market right now, I'd say. So yeah,
Right.
I'll explain it first. It'll make more sense.
Okay.
I think I get what he's going at because my kids started a shoveling business and there's been no business.
There's no business.
Yeah, so I haven't really worried about that yet. But then, I mean, when you're 17, you don't have to worry about that much stuff like tax wise.
Right.
Just because I'm not going to get in that much trouble for it. But then 18 is kind of, yeah.
God, I like you more when you say things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Because
then,
what you're saying is at 17 you can get away with crimes.
yeah, no. No, for the record.
For the record.
This is a record.
Yeah.
So no.
You just don't get in as much trouble. That's what you're saying.
Well, I'm 17. I don't know what I'm doing. But,
In 2 weeks you will.
yeah.
Did you? Yeah, but that was today. I don't know
Today?
what I'm doing. He just is going to play
Only
innocent.
17. What do
Yeah.
you mean?
Yeah, but
He doesn't want to talk about this anymore. I don't blame you. Okay, let's
right.
move on.
The idea is it is basically similar to like an Angie's List, but more locally. So, I mean, you have a kid, right? I mean, they're older now, but you want them to get off the couch and go do something.
Yes, please.
You can put them on this app, and then he can mow lawns. Someone in the area can find him and say, "Hey, can you come mow our lawn?" Or "Can you come power wash our house?" So it's a service app more locally. So then like Angie's List is similar, but that's they look for professionals. Like I need a plumber. So
Right.
It's gonna find a plumber. This is locally just not non-professional people.
Yep.
So I mean, you want just some kid down the street come shovel your driveway. You can go on the app, pay him, and then it goes right to him, and he'll come shovel for you. It's kind of that you get the idea, right?
Yeah. I think it's a great idea. Is it meant for kids, like people?
Not necessarily. I mean, I'm starting off because I got all my buddies on there who are who are shoveling driveways. I mean, it's kind of like late teens almost, but I mean,
Gotcha.
moving into, I mean, it's really going to try to be everybody, but more of a localized thing.
Right. So if you want a babysitter, would you do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Babysitter
Like, so
put
like
on
you,
it.
like I just moved into this neighborhood and I don't know anybody to shovel my driveway or babysit my kids or mow my lawn or prune my apple trees or
Exactly.
Yeah.
Anything. It's just service related. Like, I mean, I even got a buddy who's going to run tables and chairs for graduation parties through there.
Okay.
Throw it on there.
So like delivering tables and chairs?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just kind of everything to where it's just a localized service to things.
I think it's a great idea.
Well, yeah, I mean, I do too. I want to get into the idea part of it more though. So you've built the app?
Yeah. Me and Zach from Cloudburst.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Zach Stevens, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to be on the show.
I assumed he would be.
Yeah.
But
He's
Why
going to be
not,
on the
right?
show, or he already was. Could be. Who knows?
Oh, because of when it gets released.
That's
right.
true.
Right. Yes. Okay. So his company built the app for you.
No, all right, I'm backing up like a year ago.
Yeah.
Okay?
All right.
So
Let's get into it.
There's at Simley High School, there's a tri-district CAPS it's called, where it's Sibley, now Two Rivers. So you're thinking of Sibley, now Two Rivers, South St. Paul, and Inver Grove Heights, Simley.
Right.
In a school.
Oh, is that why it's Simley?
It's Simley.
It's always been Simley, and then there's Sibley, that's now Two Rivers.
Right, but Sibley is a town.
Sibley?
Yeah.
Sibley, Minnesota is a town, but it's
it's separate. It's West St. Paul's.
So it's one of those amalgamation things. Like there was up near St. Cloud, there's Rocori, but it's Rock something or other. It's like 3 different spring something. Anyway, yeah, I get it. Like Simley is not a town, right?
No, Inver Grove Heights is.
It's just, but Simley is the name of the high school.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why is it named Simley? Why does it want to confuse us like that? I don't get it.
I don't know.
Okay.
Near Sibley, but not Sibley.
Maybe
Yeah.
they'll change the name to name it after you, Henry. After you, because you're obviously going to be famous
I
and
don't want to be named after.
wealthy, and you'll be a philanthropist.
You could. How about just like the a wing of the high school?
Just a wing,
the Henry.
the computer
Kryzer
science wing.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see about that.
Okay.
Okay. So anyway, so you got started a little over a year ago.
So there's a tri-district CAPS program where it takes the 3 schools, and there's like a trucking one, business entrepreneurship. That's the one I went to. There's a nursing. So basically, you can sign up for these courses. The second half of the day, you go to this building, and then basically for the first semester of the year, they taught you about business, entrepreneurship, all this stuff, right? And then halfway through, what they do is they give you an internship, or they don't give it to you. You interview for different internships that they get, to come in, and then one of them it was a new thing this year, to where if you had a business idea that we talked about, you would go to this pitch event, which I was actually at today. It was like a 1 year later kind of thing. But there's a pitch event to where different people from around like the city would come in, like Minneapolis, and you would pitch your idea. And then, so now I'm at Rev Academy in Minneapolis, but Rev Academy, then what they would do is offer you an internship if they liked your pitch. Mm-hmm. So then that's where I got started with them. I took the internship for the second half of the year with them. And then I'm still in it. I'm just an intern there. What I do is once a week go in there, work on my idea. I always got questions like about social media, all that stuff. They'll connect me with people, help me out, all that. Like, it's a great program to help me like move on.
It's really cool.
And
Yeah.
this is through the city?
So no, it's through Rev Academy is through. So Rev Consulting's a business,
Yeah.
like a big business in Minneapolis, and then Rev Academy is like a part of it.
Yep.
To where like they got a lot of interns and stuff. But so I'm with Rev Academy right now, and then I've been for the past year now. I think today a year now with Rev Academy. So then I'm getting sidetracked.
It's easy.
Yeah.
We're good at getting sidetracked.
So then while I was with Rev Academy last year, the main person at Rev Academy put me up for this award at Social Changemakers Minnesota.
Okay.
Changemakers Minnesota, and I won that for like the youth one, the
Yeah.
whole youth group. I won that, and then what they did with that is connected me with Zach Stevens.
Okay.
Then what I did was we had a few sessions, and he helped me build the app WorkSeek. Now, so we kind of worked. He taught me how to use Glide platform, all that.
Okay.
So now-
What's Glide?
So Glide is kind of a block builder, but then you also got to get like data tables, all that, to input it into the app to actually make it.
Yep.
So yeah, it's really nice. It takes a lot to learn though, but then we made the app. So it's up, yeah.
Okay.
So is Zach
Both.
an investor then?
No, so Zach, he was I don't know how his whole
Like a
thing worked.
mentor?
A mentor, that's the word. He was a mentor
Yeah.
given by Changemakers after, for like winning. They say, oh, you can have a mentor to help you make this app. And then I got met up with him and we made it. So
Okay. And so where would someone find the app?
workseek.glide.page, on Safari, and then it's the add to home screen thing, because it's a lot cheaper to do it off Safari rather than on the App Store.
Yep. So it's a progressive web app.
Progressive web app, yeah.
Yep.
And then also we got WorkSeek app on Instagram and WorkSeek on Facebook. And then also you can follow me on LinkedIn or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Okay. So this is your first idea. Like, is this like the first time you've tried to do something like that, to start a business?
so yeah, so this is like the first like app I've done.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've had all these ideas, but this is the first app. So this is kind of just what I'm working on right now. I'm really excited about it. It's been officially out for like a few months now, just because that's the way that works. But you don't really have any snow, so I haven't really pushed it as, hey, it's out now.
Right.
But
Well, and it's consumer based. So, I mean, you're going to have to, in order to create a marketplace like that, right, you've got to have the kids who will do the work.
yeah.
And then you've got to have the adults or whatever who's going to pay them. Right. And so do you have any traction there? Do you have?
Well, I mean, I got tons of my buddies at school. Like, I got them on the platform. I have people waiting too. And then come springtime, I'm a lot more excited about it too. Because, I mean, in the spring, regardless of whatever, you can always mow lawns. You can always power wash houses. You know, all that stuff. That's all the stuff I got in the spring too.
Yep.
The winter's kind of hard just because of how much snow we've gotten this year to actually get people.
Very
you know,
little. Yeah.
It's a little tough, but definitely springtime, I'm a lot more excited about it just because there's going to be a lot more things going on.
Okay. So the network is homeowners and people who are going to do the work. Right?
Yeah.
And generally speaking, those are going to be kids.
Yeah.
And do you handle like payment transactions?
So we use Stripe.
Yep.
Yeah, we use Stripe. So then it's going to go out to me, and then I'll distribute it out to everyone.
Okay.
But so we're just in it's a prototype. What I got right now, it's not obviously full app.
Yep.
But it's a prototype, and then we're going to aim for a soft launch. That's kind of what we're doing right now. But yeah, so I kind of handle. All the payment comes to me through Stripe, and then it distributes out with Stripe to everyone working, which is kind of nice too, because then it's all processed and tracked.
Yep.
But,
which you need. Mm-hmm. Yep. This is a big undertaking.
It is a big undertaking.
You know what I mean? This is like, there's a lot to this.
I'm just thinking about you. Like, okay, so you have all these ideas.
Yeah.
You've been like waking up with light bulbs above your head for a while now. Mm-hmm. Then you had the opportunity to be in this, I don't know, it's almost like a young person's accelerator program,
right,
in the sense to teach you about business, teach you about being an entrepreneur. I'm assuming you wrote a business plan, right? Mm-hmm. All of those things. Like, what has this done for your like vision of the future? Like, what did you think about before you were able to become literally an entrepreneur, really? Mm-hmm. Like, not just think like one, but you're an actual entrepreneur.
Yeah, I mean, how many of your friends are doing anything even close to like this?
Not much.
Not much.
I don't want to discredit people, but
no, but you have differentiated.
Aren't doing it though, are they?
Yeah.
No.
You're different. You're
Yeah.
different. So what did this make you think about your future? I mean, at this age, you're all like, I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. And then something like this happens where you get an award and you get the accolades, and like, we want you on our podcast. We're like, how do you think? What can you teach us? Right? Because we're all people who are limited about the way that we think about things anymore, mostly because we know what could happen if we make mistakes.
We're old.
We're old.
Yeah, we're really just trying to suck some of the like youth life out of you
Yeah.
on the show. Poor kid. I'm kidding. We're not doing that.
He seems fine.
He seems fine.
He seems
Right.
fine so far. But how did that change you? How did this experience change you and change your look at the future?
that's tough. I don't know. I don't.
It's a big question.
It's like, it never was like a thinking before what I'm going to do all this. It's just like, you just take an opportunity and you just keep running with it. I mean, there's going to be more that come, and you kind of just got to have it to want to go with it.
Yep.
I definitely think this now will be like, okay, here's a plan. Here's what I got to do. Here's what I don't do.
Yeah.
But you kind of just got to take opportunities when you get them and ideas that you have.
But why do you? Why aren't you the dude who doesn't care about any of this and is just trying to get a C so they can go to the community college. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, why? Why you?
I think it's the way God made me. Is that I gotta my brain is functioned for a purpose. To like, I think what's gonna happen with this stuff is that it's gonna take me somewhere, and then I think all these experiences are meant for a certain reason. So I think there's definitely things in the future that I'm gonna be there to do that I'm meant to do, rather than just, you know, all these are forming me so that I'll be ready for those or
Whatever they are.
Yeah, whatever they are.
What are you going to college for? Where are you going to college?
Not confirmed yet, but I'm thinking South Dakota State.
I love that choice. Why?
I don't know. I really
Isn't
like
it Jackrabbits? Go
Yeah.
Jackrabbits!
Oh, I think it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love hunting, fishing, all that.
Yeah.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, got family out there, or a few cousins out there, and it's, I do think it's a good idea to continue with WorkSeek. Definitely out there. It's kind of like the whole residential area, or just, it's a good spot to where, like, if I know someone who wants to run a power washing company, all that, you know, it's a nice place to have it. Just even snow shoveling, lawn mowing. There's people who will pay out there, I know.
What happens when this podcast goes out and hundreds of thousands of people hear about you?
I like where you
right?
put that. Yeah.
And they suddenly every college wants WorkSeek for small community colleges, right? That don't have enough work for everybody who's going to college there,
Yeah.
or high schools who are just really wanting someone to inspire their kids to do something, get off the couch, as you say, right?
Yeah. Well,
What happens if all of a sudden you have to scale this thing? What are you going to do?
I'm not commit yet, so I mean, I got time. I got May 1st. So
You're not even 18.
yeah, you guys got any colleges? If you guys got offers, I'm open ears.
Okay.
Even
all the
cities.
colleges, all the college admissions people who are listening, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
He's saying you're still you could still get drafted somewhere else.
You could get drafted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Maybe
Yeah.
maybe MIT will want you. I'm sure there'll be tons of people listening to this in Boston.
It's big and it's big. We're playing a little bit, but anyway, yes.
I get anyone. You guys will hear my LinkedIn pretty quick here. I got to figure that out, but you guys are giving me offers. I'm open ears. Well, I'm not committed anywhere yet, so
What do you
Okay.
think you're going to study?
business entrepreneurship probably.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of something that it's more, I want to go to college and kind of work on my own. It's a nice place to get out, you know, work on your own thing. I mean, a degree is nice, but I don't think it's necessarily an important thing in the entrepreneurship field.
Yeah.
But it's like, all right,
That's a tough one. How do your folks feel about that?
well, I mean, my dad's an engineer and my mom's an occupational therapist. So that,
Right.
I mean,
So college was important for their careers.
yeah, it
necessary.
depends career. I shouldn't say it's not, college isn't important. It is. It depends on your career.
I had a talk with my son about this recently, actually, my two boys who are 16 and 14, so a little bit behind you.
Yeah.
But, there's jobs where you can like get training and you have a job. That's one thing you can do in life. And so, if there's a job out there, like a carpenter or a plumber, or, whatever, you don't have to necessarily get school for it. You can get the job. And then there's jobs that lead to careers, and then there's careers. And typically for college, for a career, it's best if you go to college. You don't have to know exactly what you're doing when you go. You just have to. You say, I generally like doing things over in this area.
Yeah.
Well, I also think I'm a big advocate for a liberal arts degree. I'm a big advocate for knowing you never know what will feed into taking music appreciation might actually feed into your app in some way,
Yeah.
or thinking in a different way. I mean, I'm a big advocate for knowledge in college, right? I don't think anyone should go to college for a job.
Yeah.
I think people should go to college to learn and to build perspective. I mean, you've been in high school, you're like in classes where this is what you learn and this is how you demonstrate you learn it, right? You
Right.
learn this, you demonstrate you learn it. You're just getting a baseline of knowledge. In college, It's about you leaning in,
Yeah.
right? And saying, I'm curious about that. I'm curious about this. I'm curious about that. And that's what a liberal arts degree is for.
I agree.
And I think exactly. You can learn all that stuff on your own.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need a structure for it, but it does give you choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think there are jobs that you get. Like if you know you want to be a doctor, then you have to like take the doctor's path.
Exactly.
You know, so that like but if you don't know exactly what you want to be, then yeah, liberal arts, just go learn something.
South Dakota State actually does have a good pre-med and medical degree.
Does it?
Yeah, really good. Like you go straight through. It's meant for rural areas.
Yeah,
that
big
kind of thing
nursing
you're
program.
And then you work up a whole bunch of debt.
Yeah.
But if you don't like chemistry, that's not going to roll.
No.
That is not going to roll.
All right, you two. Let's.
What?
No, we're good. We're 30 minutes in. I'm going to say let's take our.
All right,
let's
we'll take a
our little
break. Let's have a shot of tequila or something. I'm kidding.
Well, 2. We can order 2.
We don't have tequila.
One of you doesn't get one, but that's all right. All right.
Someday.
No, we're not.
But someday we'll know him for years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, if he chooses not to drink, that's okay too.
Okay. I'm okay with that.
Me too.
Let's take a break. Here you are.
Oh,
You've
shit.
made it to the middle of the show. Buckle up because the
man.
second half is going to be even.
It's different. It's
very
always
different.
different. Things, the little train goes off the rails or whatever. The whole
It does.
bus.
It usually does. By the second half, we're relaxed.
It's coming.
Here it comes.
Yeah. I talk too much. Middle. See ya.
Bye.
Have fun.
Every time
Good.
he says that, I sing that song. Do you know that song, Henry?
No.
Oh.
No. God, no. That's.
To fall in love with you.
Yeah, there's our second half. Here we are. Oh, goodness. We've got Henry Kryzer, our guest, the second half. So welcome back, everyone. You in radio listening land or whatever, like podcast listening, it wasn't much of a break for them. They were like, the show just kept going. There were a few commercials and then you're back. We're like well
new
rested.
people.
Yeah, we took a jog around the block.
We did. We freshened up.
Yeah, the whole thing.
Well, we didn't really freshen up.
No, we just got wine.
That's the same thing. Same.
Same thing. None for you. We've already established that.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome back. We do have.
We can mention him. He doesn't have to be that.
We kind of have to.
Yeah, but because I think he's probably in the back of someone's camera.
He is. I see him actually in my camera.
Look, he's like a creepy little engineer in the background.
We've got Summit back there.
Summit,
creepy
say hi.
little engineer. What?
Summit.
Hi, Summit.
Welcome to the show. Summit is my favorite person under the age of 56.
What?
Yep.
Really? Mm-hmm. You have more than one child.
Oh, yeah. He's my favorite person that identifies as a boy
Thank you.
under the age of 56.
Yeah. Do you see what she did there? She's got 2 children. And she just said that's her favorite.
But I do say that all the time. I mean, Summit, you know I'm your favorite, right? You're my favorite, right?
Right.
He knows that.
I tell my boys that my daughter Andalyn is like
Then when
What?
Savannah's here, guess what she is?
your favorite.
She's my favorite.
Okay. I see how it works. You're like my grandma. She used to do that too. Every grandson or every grandchild was her favorite, but only when you were alone with her. And then we'd all fight. We'd all fight over who's the actual favorite. But anyway, so Henry, you've been doing great. I am unaccustomed to having serious conversations with 17-year-olds.
Yeah.
See, so I worked with 17-year-olds forever. And generally, by the time you were 17, I had known you since you were like anywhere from 8 to 12 was when I first met you, and I was taking you on a long canoe trip into the Arctic.
Do you think that you're going to mention that at every?
I always do. But anyway, I know it's irritating. It'll just get worse too. But anyway,
Hey Sam,
what did you used to do?
what did you used to do?
My point is that those kids, I'd already known them so long that like every 17-year-old I'm around, all I want to do is give you a hard time the whole time. But you and I don't have that rapport.
Yeah.
Like you don't know me well enough, so I can't. I'm having a hard time.
I think he can handle it. He
He can totally handle it. He's tough. I can tell that.
Well, he's almost 18.
He's almost 18.
Yeah.
But he's tough too, and he's funny. He's got funniness in him. But but anyway, So I just don't know how to. I don't know how to ask all the questions that I want to ask of you and not do it in a joking, kind of giving you shit sort of way, because that's the way I am. I can't help it. So we can be serious. I can be serious for a moment.
Have you? Let me just
jump in.
Wow. Have you thought about doing other software now that you've gone through the entire process? Because that's a process. I mean, all the way down to Stripe and what you're building it on. And even though it might be a prototype, it's an example of what the whole thing is. Have you thought about doing other ones now? Now that you did this one, you're like, no, wait a second.
I've had a few other ideas.
Yeah. I mean, don't say it if you haven't.
I'm not gonna,
if you haven't trademarked them.
No, but I got a few other ideas.
You can tell me though. Just tell me.
Can I?
Come on.
It's very, very hard to steal other people's ideas. I will tell you that. It doesn't mean you should go broadcast it, but it's really hard to steal other people's ideas because no one's going to be as passionate about a thing as the person who kind of came up. And ideas are relatively easy to come by. Good ideas and following through, being an actual entrepreneur and like sticking it out, getting up the way you described entrepreneurship. That's what it takes to actually make an idea.
I agree. I think that's what you had a hard time saying what sets you apart from your friends that are, what do we say? Something about the couch.
Slack ass
yes.
losers. No, I meant regular
lazy,
kids.
Couch potato, video game, crazy, stupid.
Yeah.
No, that's not what we said. But what sets you apart is the action. You did it.
Yeah.
You know, what about this idea is about investigating that entrepreneurial spirit, but everybody has an idea, right? Everybody has like a great idea, but to actually take action and then continue that action, make a commitment to it is the differentiator.
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, you are here. You had to drive yourself from whatever part of the world it is over there. Maple Grove? No, Cottage Grove. Invergrove. That's one of the groves. Near Sibley, but not Sibley.
Simley
High School. Yeah, we've been through this. Anyway, you drove yourself over here. You agreed to be on the show. I was concerned. I think we were both concerned. Like, is this kid really going to show up? You know, like, are you going to? Well, I mean, there was some.
I wouldn't blame you.
Yeah,
I wouldn't trust another 17-year-old to show up.
That's right. He gets it. He wouldn't.
Plus, we didn't tell him much. You sent him a sentence yesterday. Hey, see you tomorrow.
Oh, I had privately reached out to him on LinkedIn.
Okay.
Yeah. You're right. That was pretty short, my email.
Pretty short.
Yes. But you followed through. Following through, getting up each day, working on the thing. You've been working on this for over a year. You haven't sold any of it yet. You haven't made any money off of it. You've been doing it for how long?
A year or so. Yeah. You
go to mentorship programs, you go to internships, that's the entrepreneurial part of you. Your ideas, relatively easy to come by. You can get ideas out there in the world all the time, knowing when to chase them, when not to chase them, how to continue, like why you keep plugging away at one thing. That's the entrepreneurial part of you, in my estimation. So
I agree.
Yeah.
I think entrepreneurial is, you described it as having this idea, and then the differentiator there was that you try and do something about it, right? And then you're like, okay, I tried to do something about that, and that doesn't seem like it's going to go. Here's this other idea. Now I'm going to try and do something about that too. And I think that is the entrepreneurial thinking, right?
Right.
And what Sam and I have always been trying to get at is not only that tenacity that makes a great business or makes a great company or is the spark of inspiration to people around you, but also just what does that kind of thinking do for you, for people, for us?
How does it make you feel?
How does it make you feel?
Because you're different than your friends,
Yeah.
aren't you?
Yeah, I don't want to say just my friends, but like,
Yeah,
No, your friends are really cool.
I'd
We're not
say,
talking
I
about
meant
them.
that in the bigger.
I meant-
your friends.
yeah, okay, 17 seniors, Minnesota high schoolers.
Yeah,
We'll say
just people your age. Believe me, there are. Okay, so you can look at them, and there's going to be the guy who is or the gal who's really, really good at basketball. Mm-hmm. You're not them. They're not you, right? Mm-hmm. There's going to be someone who's far better at the academic parts of this or that, understands the calculus, understands the chemistry that you don't like, right?
Yeah.
They're different. It's not a value judgment. It's not a they're bad, you're good. Mm-hmm. But there's something about the way that people who have this entrepreneurial way of thinking differentiate themselves from the group. It isn't always easy to understand, and it isn't always to know, do you fit in anywhere? Because you're probably doing stuff that your other friends aren't doing. Mm-hmm. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I'm wondering if you recognize that you have a great idea. You've done a great software. It's a great idea. It could go somewhere, or Angie's List could go, wait a second, that kid's got something, and then they have widespread, they might steal it or whatever. But you know what you got the award for?
Yeah.
Doing it.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
You got the award because you know how to take an idea and make it something. And it is unusual. And it should be inspirational to other Minnesota, what did you just say? Minnesota teenagers?
Yeah.
Teenagers, American teenagers.
I mean, because we have
global,
been,
maybe. Yeah.
you know, this is going to be kind of probably sound like one of your teachers, but ever since the industrial age, we have been pushing people into certain kinds of jobs. Mm-hmm. You go into finance, or you go into manufacturing, or you go into whatever. Now it's software development, or whatever. You mix products and software development, or whatever you do, right? Mm-hmm. But what we haven't done well, even though the United States is probably one of the number one countries in the world for entrepreneurs, we haven't done a good job of creating the environment in which entrepreneurs are successful. You literally in this country usually have to fight to have that kind of thinking, because you're thinking outside the box, right? You're thinking outside the way that you're taught at school. You're thinking outside that box.
That's why I wonder, like, even when you said you're going to go to a program and learn entrepreneurship, I wonder what they do in entrepreneurship.
Yeah, tell us what they do.
Do you have any idea?
Oh, in the entrepreneurship
program?
So it's they teach you. It's not necessarily, I'd say, less entrepreneurship, more just basic business. It's a college business class.
Okay.
So I get college credits for it.
Good.
It was a college business class more so.
Okay.
It taught me all the basics of business and stuff too, which is really nice.
Yeah.
But then the internship part, Rev came along and like, hey, we'll offer if kids got good ideas, we'll come intern them and teach them, how to follow through with these ideas. Like most kids, they went and did like an accounting internship or like a nursing. There's a lot of that stuff too.
Sure. Kind
of just all the job-based internships. But then I went and did the entrepreneur one where you would like actually develop a business and not just learn about it.
I love that. We gotta connect with this Rev company, don't you think?
Yeah, definitely. It's great. Like,
it's great. Yes, I think we'll definitely connect with them. And
who knows? Maybe there are sponsors on this very show.
I mean, they might be on this show right here when it releases. Yeah, but I would. Okay, I have a couple of serious questions. This is not in any way to dissuade you from what you're doing. Mm-hmm. But like, has anyone crushed your idea yet? Has anyone told you, here's the things that aren't good? Like you're operating a marketplace with kids, and what if a girl gets asked to babysit somewhere and something bad happens to her, and you bear some responsibility. So has anyone crushed it And it's okay if they do or don't, because an entrepreneur, like, you have to pick yourself up
Yeah.
and just keep going, even when people do that. But you got to think through those things. So, has
Yeah,
that
I mean,
happened yet?
it's always what if someone's shoveling a driveway and they go and get shot? It's like,
Sure.
It's like, okay, well, it's same thing with DoorDash, same thing with grocery stores. Like, if a grocery store clerk gets shot, the grocery store owner's not responsible.
Right.
It's terms and conditions. I mean, on the app, I have all that. So it's not necessarily your fault. But if you go more towards the people come and saying, yeah, it's like people always try to discredit your ideas. Mm-hmm. Just because, like, I think there's always like he's getting ahead of me. So, like, you always say, like, you'll never see a hater doing better than you. Just because, like, people are always like, it's easy to just hate.
I love that.
I like his take on this.
Why have I not heard that? Say that again about the hater.
You'll never see a hater doing better than you.
You'll never see a hater doing
He's
better
tough.
than you. That is good.
It's quote David Goggins. So it's
I'm sure it's out there in the world, right? You didn't come up with it. Yeah.
But I love it. That's good. Do you have an example of something that almost crushed your dreams? Like, almost like, okay, this thing really kind of was extra hard and I had to get over it.
not almost crushed my, because if you're going to be an entrepreneur, you can't really just get emotional about stuff.
So what was something that you could have but didn't?
Originally trying to figure out how to build it was really tough because I thought I was first going to have to get a ton of money and try to just like pay someone. But then before Changemakers, I won that. And then I connected with Zach. But yeah, it's more, creating the app was really tough because I was kind of just like for a few months trying to figure out, okay, I was looking at like academies over the summer where I could go every day.
Yep.
I was like, I don't want to go 2 hours a day, come out to Minneapolis, 25-minute drive and come learn how to code.
Right.
On my summer break. But then you kind of just got to go for it and just figure out, all right, what are other options? And then that's what's so great about Rev. It's like they connected me with this and then they put me up for an award. And then it's like they just did all that because I needed help on it.
Yep.
And they helped me out and they
believed in you.
Yeah. And then I got connected with Zach.
I can see why
He's like, they wanted to help me. I'm like, no, they actually believed in you.
They liked
right.
you. Yeah. And then you got connected with Zach. So another little word of caution about business. You absolutely can and should go to school and learn business stuff. Learning like a business degree doesn't necessarily set you up for entrepreneurship.
No.
Not the kind of entrepreneurship you're dabbling in right now, which is like, I have an idea and I want that idea to flourish someday. I want to make it work, right? That I would say you should go learn, like Juliet was saying earlier, like liberal arts, learn as much as you can about as many things as you can if you truly want to be an entrepreneur. Because if you go to business school, my take on the business school thing is what they're training you to do is lead a company. And in fact, when you're leading a company, you can't employ too much entrepreneurial thinking. You have to be pretty rigid in the way you think because you have this responsibility to the company to keep it safe. What you're doing is the more fun side of it, I would say.
Yeah.
Where you're thinking of something that doesn't exist and you're saying, I want to make that work.
I like where you're going with that because what it creates is, and it'll be interesting how Summit reacts to this because what it creates is it used to be you go to college to get the degree, right? But if you go to college with an intention, and you think about Steve Jobs, right? And I hate to bring up like big names like that, but Steve Jobs is a great example. He went to college to figure out how to build his dream. And then when he figured it out and he started it, he was like, he left college. And I'm not saying to leave college, but what I'm saying is what I heard you say is you go into college very intentionally. Like, I'm learning this for.
That's
like,
the way I
I'm
went
not
to
just
school.
picking. I never did. I was just like,
I had no idea what I wanted to do.
Check the box, man.
I had no idea what I wanted to do. So all I did was look across the course, list. And I'm like, well, that looks fun. That looks fun. And then a few years into it, some guidance counselor's like, you realize you're never going to get a degree because nothing you've taken matches. And I'm like, well, but they were all interesting.
Yeah.
I learned a ton of stuff. So yeah, I think
but with intent, I mean, and that's good. That's discovery, right?
Yeah,
like you go to college and
right.
you're discovering.
Yep.
You're like discovering what you're interested in.
That's fair.
But actually, Henry, you have an advantage because you can go into college already have really understood a lot of what it takes to build a product and be an entrepreneur. Now, not everything, right? I was having cocktails. I know it's January, but I still had cocktails last night, and I'm drinking wine today. But
that's an insight.
Last night I had a happy hour with a friend very intentionally. She's an amazing entrepreneur. Her name is Gwen Martin. I'm going to drop her name. She won't even care because she's an amazing entrepreneur. She has a few businesses. Her husband's an entrepreneur, but she's always been like 2 or 3 steps ahead of me. But she's the first one to say, I didn't know anything about this. And I just tapped into my network But last night we were talking about bringing in a partner in a business.
Yeah.
Right. And I knew that she had done it. I knew that she had been part of very complicated partnerships. And I was like, I'm thinking about doing this in a different way. Right. And I just need some advice. What is your advice? And she had just come off from having a ton of problems with employees and having a ton of lawyers involved and everything else. And she's, she didn't say, don't become an entrepreneur. But what she did say was, you have to know that's part of the package.
You do.
You may have an uprising in your employees on something that you absolutely did everything you could have done to avoid. And you're going to have to just deal with it. Right. And it's going to be hard. And that was what she said to me. And I'm like, yeah, I get that. Yeah. I'm for that. I get it. I know there's going to be problems, but the foresight into that is incredible.
And do you see how that relates to you? You see why we're thinking along these lines? Do you explain if you don't mind? Just what does that mean to you?
It's saying that we'll bring back to the college thing. It's I'm more looking towards opportunity. It's going to bring new opportunities than I do get in Never Grove Heights. Just still going to school here.
Sure.
So it's a new thing, but so you're saying it's just the whole entrepreneur thinking of just I know I'm going to have problems, but that's kind of what I like about it is I like things to deal with and I like having something to do. I mean, it's so much better than just having some office job and then you get a list of tasks and it's just check the box. You just got to get done with all this stuff. But instead, it's just whatever arises you. And then there's more of a risk factor to it too, that you got to get it done. And it's you don't have any other choices. You got to do it, or it affects you directly. Rather than if you're working for some company and you're I'm just not going to do my work. And it's okay, your boss is going to come tell you, hey, you got to do this. Okay.
Yeah. And there's no shame. I mean, honest to God, there's no shame in taking the job with the big corporation or whatever.
No.
None of that.
You're there to learn.
Yeah. Again, it's not really about value judgments. It's not saying one's better than the other. It's kind of, it's nice to know sometimes at least a little bit about what you're getting into.
Yeah.
And if you're truly going to, if you stick out a little bit already, which you do, you're just a little different.
Yeah.
And you're kind of wearing the entrepreneurial guy jacket or whatever, right? And you're going to find other people. But you do have to know that you're going to run into these problems along the way, and they're always going to be different. It's not necessarily you. It's life. It's just the way it is.
Oh, I feel like we just put a dark cloud over everything. Which makes
people
me
run
wonder.
into problems in their other jobs too.
I get it. But Henry, do you feel like this experience might be, I'm going to say this really extremely, and then you can take it as the mild one. Is it stealing your youth?
No.
I mean, because we don't talk. Part of the reasons 17-year-olds are still having fun and making mistakes.
Right.
And
okay.
Yeah.
So what's the fun? It's what I don't. So the fun is it doesn't do anything for you. Fun is when you're successful and have everything set up for you. Okay, it's cool. You're gonna have fun now, and then you're gonna go to college and go get a teaching degree, or just I'm not hating, but you know what I mean? It's it's just normal. It's the rat race. It's just normal, and it's not anything outside the box.
Yeah, if my 17-year-old self could be talking to you,
I know.
I'd be like, you're right.
You're right.
I was thinking a lot of the same things at that time.
Yeah.
I really was. And I know at least at least when I was a kid, were you thinking along those lines too? Like
When I was 17, well, I graduated college, high school early, and I was in college.
Sure.
And I was not thinking anything serious.
No. Were you thinking that you did not want to do what other people did, though, or were you just kind of going along with things at the time? I mean, it's
It's a little of both. It wasn't like I was thinking about myself in college as being different than other people, but I was different than other people.
You were.
And so I think that I was always trying to assimilate. And then,
Gotcha.
and then I was like, this is not working for me. And then
you
I
ran
was
off
like,
to Europe.
I ran off to Europe and I didn't come home for years.
Right, because that fit.
That fit, that taught me. This is what I somehow I must be subconsciously thinking about this, about you, Henry, in this, and that I didn't have your experience that you're having now. I didn't have the experience of being successful or driving something or just just having an idea and following it through. I didn't have any of that. I had no independence.
I'd go a step further, and I would say that there were precious few, if any, really blueprints of what a female, like
truly back then.
For us, like for me to be a guy when I was young who was different, I was just like people were like, oh, Sam's just different. He's kind of like, I wouldn't say a jerk, but like I wanted to talk about serious shit. And why are we not changing the world? Like, why are we not fixing things or something? But I bet there were.
I was not that way.
I bet there were.
But I was different.
Yeah, but I bet there were so few examples. What I'm saying is, for me, I could get away with it because guys always had that role. It was okay for me to be that different person because there was a blueprint for it. You just were the guy that didn't fit in and you wanted to do things differently or something, right?
I did. I wondered what that difference was, though. Like, am I different? Am I weird different? Why do people react to me this way? When I moved away, I mean, during the time when I moved away, and I have to remember, Henry, when I moved over to Europe and ended up in Crete, Greece for 2 years, and I worked at a nightclub 7 days a week from 10 to 6 in the morning. It was this crazy life, just enough to pay me my rent and my food the next day, and then I did it, and I did it for 2 years. Mm-hmm. And that situation made me self-reliant. It made me have to struggle. It made me have to be only me and not me with my mom and dad and not me with my family. It made me be only me and only in retro. And it was hard. Mm-hmm. It was hard. I mean, I know living on Crete, Greece on the beach and working in a nightclub doesn't sound hard, but for me, it was like this is how I found who I was. Yeah. And then when I went back to school, I was driven. Like, I knew what the weirdness was for. I knew it was like,
and
I
give
get
yourself
it.
some credit. I mean, it is hard. And especially back then, like the idea that a girl would abandon the housewife thing or the, like getting married right out of college or something thing and go off and do something like that. Like,
my mom it's funny. I kept all my letters that my mother wrote to me. I have all the letters, and you won't connect with this, Henry, but you'll connect with the idea. And that my mom used to always send me handwritten letters. We didn't have email, and we didn't have phones really. I had to it was really expensive to talk to each other. And so she would send me either typed or handwritten notes, and they would always include, do you remember the comic Mama, the Mama comic? And it was a comic. It was the short old woman and the young son who was always doing something wrong.
Okay.
It was called Mama.
Okay.
And she would cut those out and send them to me. Like, I don't know if she was trying to be funny or...
She never told you why?
No, it's just like this letter would show up with a random Mama comic in it, basically telling me that I was the wayward child, right? Like, yeah.
But it was a boy in the comic because girls didn't do that.
Girls didn't do it, that's true.
And so...
Yeah.
You seem very comfortable in kind of knowing that you're going to end up doing this. This is sort of what you're going to do. So are you going to be devastated if WorkSeek doesn't work out? Like,
I got plenty of other ideas.
that's what I like.
Next
Did you
one.
see that little smile?
You don't want
flash
to.
me?
You can tell us just one idea, Henry.
Don't
tell us
we can
one.
tell us off air.
Just like
Yeah, we'll
secret
hear your
idea.
ideas. We'd like that. No, I think it's really. I think it's. We don't know what to expect inviting a high school kid in on a show about entrepreneurship. You know? Like,
I'm impressed.
I am too, and I think that. For whatever it's worth, it like, you know, we're older people and we're giving you advice, and you're going to get so damn much advice from so many people over the next few years. What we talked about throughout the show, right? College is fine. It sounds, you mentioned something that my boys are very concerned with. They don't want to end up out of college with a bunch of debt. Is that
I'm not worried about the debt part.
Okay.
The debt part you can figure out.
Okay.
It's like, okay, the problem with the debt part is that, like, there's people who go to, like, some school $60K a year, just like they don't expect it when they're 17. They got to commit and just take on all this, but it's you just got to figure that out. Like, okay, do the math. How much can I make a summer working this job, right? All this, and then just how much do I already have saved, and just figure out, like, what's your budget. It's, I think people they focus way too much on a nice school, like something fun.
Right.
They're gonna go to, like, some Big Ten school or something, and then they're like, oh, I'm gonna take on all this debt, and it's just they don't think about it till afterwards, so they actually pay it. But
You must have really good parents.
yeah.
Yeah, he didn't hesitate once.
He didn't even
My kids
hesitate.
would be like,
Well, Summit, no comment in the background.
right. Yeah. Keep quiet back there. No, that's fair. I had the pleasure of hanging out, you know, it was Christmas not that long ago, and I had the pleasure of hanging out with 4 or 5 of my friends from high school who not a one of them went to an Ivy League school or even one of the top tier schools. They went to small state schools. They didn't pay a lot. Every one of them is highly successful at this point.
Yeah.
They've done so well in their careers because they're just those people. Like, it didn't really matter. I do think that the really great schools, fine, they're fantastic, but the chances of getting into them, the rigmarole around it, the fact that people pay their way into those places, any education at any of these schools is probably good. And so you're saying,
I love that. You know, I've always thought about that in that, let's just take MIT as an example, right? So MIT is a world-renowned university.
it's all right.
It's a world-renowned university.
There's an inside joke there. I'll tell you afterward. Anyway, yes.
It's a world-renowned.
It is.
So MIT is a world-renowned university. Yale, Harvard, any of those, same deal, right? And I feel like there's really not a lot of difference between what you're learning. I mean, the idea is you're learning the base level, the novel concepts of science, the novel concepts of business, all of those things, right? But it's you've gone to Harvard and now you have a different belief in yourself. So it gives all of those students like, oh, I'm at Harvard, I must be smarter. And then people who hire you say, oh, you went to Harvard, you must be smarter.
It's about networking.
And that idea of having that intense belief in yourself without having to question all the things because you went to Harvard, right? You must be good. So I think that, sure, getting into Harvard or Yale or MIT and getting a degree there is amazing. They have much bigger budgets than maybe a state school, right? But it all ends up on the individual.
Yeah.
It all ends up on you. It all ends up on what do you want to create? What do you want to do? And back in our day, there wasn't so many opportunities for entrepreneurs. I mean, the entrepreneurs that thought that way were weird and different, and they had crazy ideas. And wow, those crazy ideas created something. Nike, great example, right?
Right.
But today there's like loads of information and loads of opportunity. But so we're starting to realize as a society, you don't need that Harvard or you don't need that Yale. They're great and they'll do a great job for you. But to be able to think that way already is a huge thing.
Yeah, I mean,
Don't you think?
Yeah, I'd say even though like a Harvard though, it'll land you a good job, but if that's what you want to like take on all that student debt and then just get a good job and then that's that. you work a nice job and that's it.
So my older brother went to Harvard and then Harvard Medical. And
Oh, I forgot about that.
yeah, that's okay.
I knew that.
But he was the reason the MIT thing is he got accepted to MIT too, but he's like, well, they're not as good. He's funny.
Boo.
Yeah. But, everything you just said is accurate.
I know.
You can't take away from the fact that they do have good facilities. They have good faculty. They're great.
Yeah.
These places are great. If your ambition is to get the best job you possibly can get on Wall Street, you got to go to one of those schools.
Yeah.
If you want to teach at Harvard, you got to go to one of those schools so you get almost everybody else. I mean, there's such a small percentage of the world that gets into those hyper elite institutions, and they're feeders for a way of thinking. I don't know that those schools graduate the most well-rounded thinkers in the world. They graduate really smart people. There's no doubt about that. But if you want a good experience in thinking, you can get that at all sorts of different schools.
Use them.
Yeah.
Use them.
You can go anywhere, and you can just go do what you like and figure it out. Especially you've already got this kind of. I think it would be nice to be at your age. I know that what I knew at your age was I didn't know what I wanted. Yeah. And there was no path ahead for me. I got like, oh shit, because you go to college to get a job. You go to college to get an education that lands you a job. I would say, at least your first stint in college, Juliet, was similar, right? You didn't necessarily know what you wanted. You went off and went to Greece and figured out who you wanted to be, and then you came back and attacked it.
It was a drive that was created in me. It didn't matter where I went to school.
Right.
It was a drive. I was like one of those high school students, though, Henry. I was like, standardized tests. I'm not doing that.
I was like,
I'm not taking a standardized. I'll only go to a college that accepts me without a standardized test.
And I was the one who was like, oh, the test? Yeah, that's fine. That's easy. And then I didn't do any work to do it. Anyway, it's all fine. We're 34 minutes into it.
No way.
Yes,
how could that be? I haven't even asked Henry what he likes to do for fun.
Yeah.
Running a lot. I like to run.
You're a runner. Cross country?
I wouldn't say I'm not a runner. I just like to run. I'm not good at a runner. I'd consider like cross country trek. No, I just like to run. Like,
how far do you run?
On a show, huh? It's like 3 miles every time.
Oh, that's brilliant.
And then hunting, fishing's my thing.
Okay, I have to ask because I hunt and fish.
Yeah.
Oh my God, how do you know that? What did you used to do?
What?
What did you used to do?
This is not about camp. This is not about camp. Honest. This is about my personal life, hunting and fishing. What do you hunt?
Ducks.
Yeah?
Little deer, mainly waterfowl ducks.
Okay, where do you hunt?
South Dakota and western Minnesota.
Okay.
Do you go pheasant hunting?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit, not as much as ducks, but I do
a lot of pheasant hunting in that area. Yeah.
Just south of you, there's a spot. We'll talk off camera. I don't want people knowing about the spot.
Oh,
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
What kind of fishing?
It was
Fishing. It's a lot of just sport bass fishing. A little crappies too. Springtime.
Oh, those are delicious. Do you keep them or do you mostly toss them back?
No, we do.
How do you feel about cleaning fish?
Cleaning fish. If you're good at it, it's not that tough.
If you're good at it,
If
it's the best. Like sunfish and crappies. There's like a whole crap load of them, and
I've filleted
fish fry.
Tens of thousands of fish in my life, at least. Like, honest.
Yum.
We'll talk later. I like that though. But you deer hunt as well?
Little bit. I shot a deer and I haven't really deer hunt since.
Because did you feel bad?
No, I just I don't have the drive to do it anymore.
Oh, okay.
Or
You got patient.
Well, I shot a 9-point buck.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, what the odds that I shoot another deer that big ever?
Well, if you don't go out, you never will.
Mic
Yeah,
drop.
but it's
Mic drop on that deer. Moving on.
Shit.
It's like, all right, I'd rather just go duck hunt every weekend instead
Duck
of
hunting's unique.
Yeah, I like to just rather go duck hunt instead of try to chase down a deer that'll be bigger, which is probably not. Ducks new every time. It's just great.
I have to ask you, we won't get into the hunting stuff too much because we got to stop this. But anyway, I have to ask you, what's your favorite part about duck hunting? Like, is it the shooting? Or is it just being out there?
I like kind of like the whole like process. Like I like waking up like 2 a.m.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, you're carrying tons of weight, you know, a couple miles. I like the whole like grind part of it. And then it's like you can be rewarded.
Yeah. That's a great answer because
that is the exciting part of it.
It's the ritual and the process. Like I could, at this point in my life, if I never shot another duck, I'm like, oh, the ducks are flying by. It's cute. I'll take a shot. Don't get me wrong, but like I really don't need to kill very many animals. But the process and the ritual of it all is the part I love. So that's cool.
Yeah.
I'm impressed, Henry. Thank you for coming and talking to us.
Yeah, thanks, Rhett.
I learned a lot from you. I learned a lot. Can you be my coach?
Sure.
Okay.
Do your parents tell you you're a good kid?
Yeah.
Do they?
They have to, but I know they mean it.
Okay.
It's like,
yeah, they have to. You're right.
yeah.
Yeah, because how many brothers and sisters do you have, just real quick?
3.
Okay. But they still tell you you're a good kid.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think you are. I think they're right. So I really, really, we just loved having you.
I think let's make a date for 5 years from now.
Yeah, maybe 2 years.
Yeah.
Let's get you back in. We'll talk life. See where you're at.
Let's do it.
All right. Thanks, Henry.
Yep, thank you.
Don't cry. It's over.
Oh, you did it. You made it to the very end of the show. You know what you can do to help us? What can they do to help us? They can tell their friends how awesome this show is.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
You know what else? And I don't know if people know this or don't know this, but like if you found us and you see us on socials somewhere, just hit repost or share it with your community.
Share, repost, follow. Isn't there a follow option?
Yeah,
of some
follow,
kind?
subscribe. We're not going to charge you anything.
No.
Just hit the subscribe buttle.
No,
It's
we
not gonna
just
hurt
need
you.
to create a community around entrepreneurism and how the real shit happens.
I like it. Well, because we're real. You said it in the intro.
Real.
We talk real. No, seriously. Tell your friends. What a great show. Oh my gosh, these people are doing the best work ever. Yeah, right?
That's what you should say.
Yeah.
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 And just come back. Have fun with us. We love this.
We'll have someone, we'll interview someone cool next week too.
Someone completely different.
Yeah. From prison. Thanks.
We always have to add that.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening.